Good morning. I'm Asriani, student of University of Pasapageti. Today, allow me to present about building speaking confidence. Speaking English is something that many of us struggle with. It. The fear of making mistakes and no confidence in ourselves. And here's the outlines of today's presentation. 1. Why speaking English is difficult. And then the second slide, common fears among learners. 3. Mistakes are part of the process. And then number 4, psychology of speaking anxiety. And then 5th, strategies to overcome fear. And the last is conclusion. And now we come to the first slide. Why speaking is difficult? That's the problem of many of us when we want to speaking English or learning English. Because there are many thoughts inside of us, like we fear or we scare about grammar mistakes. So I think this is the basically that we learners that we as a learners afraid of thinking about grammatically. And then the second is anxiety about pronunciation, because English is not our first language, so I think that's normal if we're afraid of making mistake in our pronunciation. And the next is fear of judgment of ridicule. We're afraid that everyone will judge us, that what we speak or our English is ridiculous. And the next, lack of vocabulary. That's a big problem when we speak English, because we have no much more knowledge about vocabulary, or we lack of vocabulary. And then the last is low self-confidence. We're very afraid when we try to speak English because we have no self-confidence. That's the big problem when we want to speak English. Okay, and then the next slide, we talk about common fears among learners. We think that there are some questions inside of us when we want to speak English. What are they? Sometimes we think about, what if I say something wrong? That's normally come to our mind when we want to speak English. And then other question, maybe people will laugh at me. We are afraid of that. So we think hard when we want to speak English. And then the next is, I don't sound like a native speaker. That's normally because English is not our first language. So we want to act like English native speaker. Those are the common fears among learners. And then, okay, we go to the next slide. Mistakes are part of the process. Why this is very important for us to think that the mistakes are part of our process, because nobody's perfect. Of course, when we speak or when we try to learn something that English is not our first language, so make a mistake is a very normal. That's I say that mistakes are part of the process. Every speaker makes mistakes, of course, because there are no humans perfect. And then we think that even native speakers make grammar errors. So do not get wrong, because the native speaker themselves, they also make a mistake or make an error when they speak English. So we do not afraid when we want to try to speak English, then we make a mistake in grammar error. Okay, next, mistake means learning opportunities. So while we do something that it mistakes, so means that we have a time, we have opportunities to fix it. So it will make us better and better. If we want to learn from our mistakes. So making mistakes is a natural part of language learning. They are not failures. They are steps toward progress. Okay, some famous artists or some famous celebrities that go international, they also do mistakes when we try to practice their English. Okay, the successful people learn English as a second language, like Jackie Chan, and then the other Asian actors or celebrities. Of course, they are made a mistake when they try to learn their English in the first time. Okay, and then the next, I'm going to talk about the psychology of speaking anxiety. Performance anxiety, fear of negative evaluation, and perfectionism. We frame anxiety as excitement. So when we feel anxiety, so just reframe. Next slide is strategies to overcome fear. I have a tips to overcome our fear when we wanna speak in English. What are they? The first is practice regularly in daily, even in 5 minutes. And then the next is talk to yourself in English or do monologue. It's a very important and very useful for us when we want to practice our English. Even we have no partner to speak in English, but we can also practice ourselves in English, speaking in English. Example, we can talk to the mirror, in front of the mirror, and then we can do monologue. We speak or we make conversation with ourselves in front of the mirror. Okay, and then the next is record and listen to your voice. Things that we do investigation or we do interview with others by using the recording. It's a very important for us to know how is the intonation and then how is the pronunciation of us by using the recording. And then the next is join conversation club or online communities, English communities. It's a very important for us to spread our links, yeah, to make our pronunciation or our English is better and better by meeting with others, especially with native speaker in a conversation club. It will make us better than before, or at least we can imitate how they say in English by using their own dialect. It's a very important for us. So please, if we want to make us better and better in speaking English, join the club conversation. It's a very benefit for us. The more you speak, the less afraid you feel. That's a very important. So confidence comes from repetition and familiarity. So if we do more and more practice every day, every minute, every hours, it will make us better and better. Mistakes mean growth, so don't be afraid about making mistakes. When we practice English, the goal is not perfection, it's connection, expressing our thoughts clearly, even with a few errors. Make speaking fun. So I suggest you when you wanna uh, study or learning English, find the way that make you feel comfort. Example, we can learn by listening to the music, or maybe we can do from watching movie, English watching movie, or we can read something fun like the article that we like, and then we can do monologue with the theme that we like or something fun. We can also see the podcast. Yeah. English podcast is a very interesting also. Okay, we will be better and better if we accept the feedback without fear. What is feedback? Feedback is not attack or a punishment. So just listen when we speak to someone and they give us feedback about our English. It gives that helps you improve. The more we accept correction, the faster we grow. Okay, and then the next, here are the tips for a better speaking. First is try to ask for constructive feedback for others, and then the second, learn from correction. So if there is someone give you a correction, so you have to highlight, yeah, the correction, and then we have to fix it for the next time. And then next, don't take it personally. So do not get personally if somebody give it a feedback to you, because that's for your own goodness. So we have to think positively. And then next is supporting peers. Supporting peers is a very important for us. And then encouraging teachers. Encouraging teachers is a very benefit also for us when we want to do some things better and better. And then we can use technology to help our practice. We can join to such as community English community, online English community like Tandem, and then we can download from the application like Duolingo, Hello Talks, Elsa Speaks, or we can use AI tools such as ChatGPT, speech to text, and then also we can download or we can see from the YouTube many native speaker YouTuber that what we call it appears on the YouTube. Today's tool make it easier than ever to practice speaking even without a classroom. So we can do speaking everywhere even we have no class. That's very useful if you wanna find from the internet or something like that. Okay, the next is summary. The summary today about our presentation is first is normal. So don't be afraid if you want to speak in English, because it's normal if think that we are fear when we speak English, because English is not our first language. And then the next, mistakes are helpful. So don't be afraid when we try to learn English or speak English, and then we are afraid of making a mistake, because it's also normal. Mistakes will make you grow better and better. And then the next, confidence is a very important for you, for me, for us to build, to make our performance better than before. Confidence is not about perfect, but it's about being proud to try. Thank you for listening. That's our conclusion uh, for today's presentation. Hopefully, what I give you today is benefit if, for you. Thank you so much. See you and thank you.